want to talk to you a little bit about what it means economically and what you can do to prepare. This is a great new book that you should get. It is The Day the Dollar Crashes. Damon Vickers is with me. Damon, you and I met a year and a half ago, I think, and you talk about it in the book, and basically you talk about when I called you and you knew that it wasn't going to be an easy interview because I was going to demand you to shoot straight, and so you're thinking, what is he possibly going to ask? You made page after page after page of notes. Yeah. And in the end, it came down to tell the rest of the story.
I was on the way to the studio. It was kind of a surreal moment. I'm out there in Los Angeles, going by the American Idol giant buildings and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
They're huge. And I'm trying to kind of get focused. I mean, I'm meeting you. Turned out to be your birthday that day. Mm-hmm. And I'm writing down all these different ideas, like where is this all heading to? Where is it all going to? Trying to, crystallize or condense really where it was all going. And I wrote like a madman, and then I came to the end of the page, and I just wrote across the bottom of the page, revolution.
That day when I was on set, he was sitting back off to the side, and he heard me talking to my producers, and I said, people don't get it. This is all going to lead to revolution. And that's when he held up his notepad and said, that's what I did. Go up to the chalkboard and show, this is the important thing for you to understand, America, that what's happening in Egypt, we showed you at the beginning of the show that in 2008, they were saying, we're just waiting. We're waiting. We got it all ready to go. We got all these revolutionaries we've trained. What were they waiting for? People to be unemployed and hungry. Take it.
Well, prices are really heading up. Commodity prices are heading up like crazy. And we can see it in oil prices in Egypt. A timeline here, they're in the commodities. You've got things like cotton. And of course, we all know the Egyptian cotton. How many of us have, well, hopefully a lot of us have Egyptian cotton sheets. But cotton right now is at like prices that haven't even been seen since the Civil War.
Right.
Wheat prices, grain prices, all of these prices are heading up.
Global food prices this week, if I'm not mistaken, the UN came out and said at an all-time high for food prices in the world.
Yeah, very high. And it's for us in the United States, maybe it doesn't matter so much. I mean,
it will.
It may. And for Americans, about 6% of our income, roughly, is towards food. But in places like this, all in through here, where the land is not necessarily, it's kind of dry, a very large percentage of their income goes towards food. 50, even 60%. Rice.
Same thing. You could say the same thing, couldn't you, about Mexico?
You could. You absolutely could.
All right.
We have this moment in time where prices are heading up, and these people are having a hard time simply eating. They're desperate, and the moment is ripe for this desperate souls, desperate populations with any shimmer of hope, even as fanatical as this may seem.
For somebody to organize them and have them embrace their anger. Now, when we come back, he's got a quick solution, and I want to talk to these gentlemen here about a solution as well, because this is a complex issue, but we have to look at it, I think, in a different way. We can't look at it just politically. The answer's deeper than that. We'll start that conversation next. All right. Inside the Revolution, Joel Rosenberg. The day after the dollar crashes, Damon Vickers. And Zudi, where's your... He doesn't have a... You have one coming?
Yes, sir.
Oh, good, good. You should. We've spent an hour here trying to talk about what is happening in Egypt, and we haven't, and we'll get into this more next week, but we haven't talked about a solution yet. Just real quick off the top of your head, because I don't think we agree on a solution, your solution to what is happening in Egypt now.
Well, two things for me. First, the political side. The president needs to not go with the Muslim Brotherhood. He cannot play with gasoline in front of an open flame, because if he encourages the Islamists to take over, this is a worst case scenario. So that's the political side. I don't know if you want to go further.
What is the other side? The other
for me, it's spiritual.
Spiritual side?
Yeah, I'm an evangelical Christian.
Okay, hang on for that, because I think that does play a role. Go ahead.
I think the solution is to come back to American principles so that we're consistent and we say what we mean and we mean what we say about freedom and humanitarianism and what we are, and to defend those entities in the Middle East and in Egypt and to stand by them and to have a long-term strategy, Glenn, to start to transform the Middle East. And this is the first step. We're going to take steps backwards before we go forward. We learned that in the Eastern Bloc countries. We learned it in Japan.
Okay, I agree with you, I think, but don't you think that we should get in bed with the Muslim Brotherhood if we have to?
No, no, no. You can allow them to be legal, but yet fight them in the war of ideas, create a Radio-Free Egypt and other things to fight them and say that theocracy fails and they are the worse than Mubarak than better. And we can do that without suppressing their rights.
Okay. Damon.
We're facing a very formidable challenge of global change. And
because this is what you and I have been talking about for a while. This is just the tip of the iceberg. This is just the beginning of it, don't you think?
It feels like it's the beginning of it. You can't, when we know it from how markets behave, that when the dominoes start falling, that they can begin taking on their own momentum.
Right.
This type of thing could be in the process of happening very fast. But for solutions, we have to start walking our own talk. We need to be the change that we want to see in the world. And we need to transform our own hearts and our own minds and be living examples in a country that is able to project the right ideals and the right values to influence the world.
I will tell you that I honestly don't know. If I were president of the United States, I think I wouldn't want the Muslim Brotherhood in. I think I would just let it play out and then just let it play out and then just pull my money and support and do what you say. Go in and make sure you're speaking out against it. But I don't think we have any credibility anymore in the world because we don't have values and principles anymore. I mean, we should never have been in bed with Mubarak. And we can't change the past, but we can change the future. And I think what he wrote up on the board here is the most important stuff. Education. These people have been played. You saw it in 2008. They were played. It was all set up. The framework, the structure was there. That's what we've been showing you. They're building structure in this country. And they're waiting for things to get bad enough so they can grab the disenfranchised, pull them all together, and get them to do what they're doing now in Egypt and all around. So we have to, A, educate ourselves. We have to, B, store food. It's not like a crazy fallout shelter. It's like our grandparents used to do. Our grandparents used to just can their own food. Get ourselves out of debt. Don't buy the extra stuff that you don't need. Just live within our means. So if things get bad, if inflation does start to happen, we are a shelter for others. And here is the best. Rebuild our communities, and not through community organizing. Because that's about politics. And this isn't about politics. Is it? I come back to you because you just said...
Yeah, not to me. I mean, inside the Revolution book, there's 3 revolutionary forces in the region. The radicals, who are the Muslim jihadists. There are the reformers, Zudi and others, who are saying, no, they're crazy. Let's fight against them, but let's do it with democracy. But there are also the revivalists. Millions of Muslims are saying, we're done with Islam. And many of them, not all by any means, but many, millions, are coming to faith in Jesus Christ. And so for the church, we need to think, we don't have to just go with political solutions.
But let me tell you something. I am with you. I'm a Christian. But I'll stand with you any day. And I hope we fight side by side spiritually, because we need each other. We need each other. If we lose each other, we're toast. We're toast.
Faith is negated if it's coerced, and it has to be a free market of ideas.
Faith is the answer.
Absolutely.
Back in a second. You can find all of our research at glennbeck.com for the show, all the videos and everything else. Do your own homework. Do not take my word for it. Also, you can find out about the books that I think you should read. Both of them available at glennbeck.com. We will see you Monday. Have a safe weekend. God bless. From New York, good night, America.